Alright, so this is where I'm at right now. Got the firewall all welded up, seam sealed, and put some bed liner spray on it. Didn't come out too bad. Even got the factory hole put through there for the harness to come through with the rubber grommet. And over on this side, this side all made up. And she's all sealed up from the weather for there. I just got to make up something for the top vent there because that can't be used anymore. And that's got to be sealed up too, but that's no big deal. And besides that, I put some spray down on the bottom there because, I mean, you're not going to see none of that anyway. And I don't know, I guess from here now, I'm going to get at putting the wiper motor and the wiper linkages in, and that's going to be a bit of a challenge too because nothing wants to fit. I gotta cut and weld back together and find a set of original 51 International posts because these won't fit through the factory holes there, and I do want to use the factory holes. So yeah, I gotta do a bit of cutting and adding and modifying, and it'll all come together. This side's pretty much done too. I was ready for body work down there. And I think I'm going to have to make my own rockers because I tried to pre-fit this door here on there today. And it fits all pretty good except for down towards the bottom. So I say I will have to build my own rocker panels to fit the door. But I'll get to that when I get to it, which should be soon, but one thing at a time. I still got all this whole seam on the back here I gotta weld up yet. But the biggest thing now is, well, do the wiper motor. I guess I'll do that first. And then get the doors fitting in place with no latches, no nutting. Just make sure I got pretty good gaps all the way around on each side. And then I can weld the back of the cab into place. After the back of the cab is welded into place onto the floor, then I can go to town on getting the floor done and the back of the cab welded to the floor. All this inside all fixed up, everything, all this here, that could be fixed up. But, like I say, the doors got to fit in the gaps properly before anything else can go further on this. So, besides that, I got at the hinges today. And they were a piece of work. I mean, the factory pins in there were broke off. And to get them out, I had to heat these up blood red right here and pound and pound and pound. And they finally came out. So, of course, I couldn't find hinges or pins anywhere in Canada or the world, really. I think there's one place that sells hinges, but it's like $500 American, plus shipping and tax and exchange rate. So I said I'll just rig up my own. So the factory hinges were fine. It's just the pins were shot and that. So I bought a couple of stainless steel bolts, and I'm just going to run that down through it with lock nuts on the other end. And put some grease down through them and re-grease them probably twice a year. As for the bolt holes there, a couple of them wouldn't come out even with heat. I tried welding nuts onto what was left there. Tried a dozen times on that, and no way. There's a couple that just wouldn't come out. So there is a few there that I got to tap out to get the threads back in there, but that's nothing serious. So I got this one set of hinges done, and just to do what I did there, it took me about 3 hours. It was just crazy. Like, everything was just growing together. But you gotta expect that for a 51, I suppose. And I guess tomorrow now, when I'm not picking up the wiper motor, I'll probably get at the hinges on this door. Take these hinges off and get them all fixed up and ready too. And I think I will be using that door just because I love the look of the patina on it. Too bad the driver's door wasn't in good shape out there where I got the truck from too, but there was nothing left of it. I mean, a tree growing out of it and everything on the ground, so it is what it is for that. So yeah, I guess that's just about gonna do it for today for me. And yeah, I guess the next thing is the wiper motor. Get that set up and working, and get the back of the cab welded into place where it gotta be. Once that's done, I'll put the wiring in, I think. Be nice to have her mobile again, just so I can move her around if I got to. Alright, so before you think anything, this is my way of trying to line up my door gaps. Went down and picked up a pack of ratchet straps, a 4-pack, and I just started bracing straps to the posts in the garage here and a block of wood on the back here. I'll get a light there now, it's probably hard to see that. And gone through the gap in there with the block of wood and got it brought to the front of the truck and strapped there. And another strap there holding up the door up to the ceiling. And I mean, this is to me this is a very important step. The door gap's got to be decent. You don't want to have a door that's dropped and hanging, and you know, wants everything to open and shut properly on her. Everything else I don't really care about, as long as my door gaps are half decent. So I still got a bit of tweaking to do. As you can see, the gap here is a little snugger on the bottom than up here, but she's still bowed in the middle of the cab here a bit. So I know as I can straighten that out a bit, that's no big deal. But except for that, well, the rain gutter is beat up a bit too around her. That could all be straightened out. And the only other spot is down on the bottom of the door here. She's tight. But where I didn't have any door frame left on this truck when I got it, like she was rotted from here down. There was nothing at all there anymore. I pretty well eyeballed it where I thought it was straight, and I was off by about, I don't know, maybe 1/8 of an inch. So I have to cut some of this off, and my inner posts I have to break the welds down on the bottom here and draw it in to where it gotta be. Then weld this onto the inner post, and my gaps will be good there on that side. So that's not a big deal. That's probably might take me about a half hour or so to do that. Minor stuff. But except for that, yeah, I think she's gonna fit all right. And like I said before, you know, once this door is all lined up in that, and I gets a couple of welds and gets her in place where I want her to be, then it's pretty well flat out going. Then I mean, everything will just start falling in place then. But I mean, the cab got to be pretty close to where it was originally, you know, squared up wise, right? So I'm gonna take a break now for the rest of the evening. It's getting late, and probably get back at this tomorrow. If not tomorrow, the day after, because I may go to Glance tomorrow to get some more parts off that other international truck in the woods. So until then. Alright, so it looks like I finally got one door fitting pretty good. It took about 5 hours work. I got the hinges mounted on it so she opens and shuts now, but I also had to secure the cab up in place where I got to start doing some welding, because where she's still flimsy in the back. But it was quite a bit of cursing, and you know, stuff happens, but I got her, so now I can start putting her together on this side. Still got the gap to line up here yet, but I ran out of ratchet straps, so I'm going down tomorrow, pick up some more ratchet straps, get that gap dialed in, then I'll get inside and start welding the braces and get her all secured. And then it'll be on to the passenger door. And I was already trying to pre-fit that one, and that one's not going to need much work at all to make fit. It actually goes up in place pretty nice the way it is. It's going to take a bit of tweaking, but not bad at all. So, tomorrow I guess, is back at the driver's door. Get that all buttoned up, then on to the passenger door. Alright, so this is where I'm at now. I had a lot of misery trying to get this driver's door to fit, but I think I'm finally on the home stretch here. I mean, this just fought me the whole way. It's just unreal. I had welds done and I had to take the welds apart, stretch everything, and do it over again. And I'll tell you, I never had this much misery with a vehicle in a long time, but according to what I see, I tried test fitting the passenger door and it's pretty close to fitting already, so that's not going to be a big deal. But the driver's door, it was just something else. So here's where I'm at right now with it anyway. Alright, so I got the cab lifted up a bit with ratchet straps. I mean, I gotta say, these little ratchet straps are a big help for doing this kind of work. I mean, it just makes, it holds it in place steady. Like, you don't have to worry about someone lifting it and hold it in place for you. It stays at its steady pressure all the time. So I got her pretty well all in place now, and the door is getting close, but I still got a bit more welding to do. If I can find my flashlight, oh, there it is. I'll show you what I mean. So here's where I'm at now. I'm welding this door pillar is off the other side, the passenger side piece I had out of another cab. And it's not the perfect fit, no, but it will work once I get it all done. I'll have to cut it, rip it down the middle, spread it out for the weather stripping channel because it don't fit right, as you can see, because the curve is different. And that could be done afterwards. But I'm going to get this here finished welding up, and then we'll see how the cab fits around the door for the door gaps and that. Alright, I'm going to squeeze over here and see where that cab is fitting around the door. Time for the moment of truth. Okay. It don't look that far off. Wow, it actually came out really good. There is a bit of a gap here, but that's still because there's a piece of metal missing here. So that's fine. And the door is not completely shut, so that will bring it in further too. Except for that, all around there is good. It's got to be drawed in here a bit, but when I does this top part to this bottom part, welds that together, it will draw it in, as you can see. So, finally, I'm finally getting somewhere with the driver's door. Unreal. So that side is pretty well done for the tweaking part. I'm gonna have some misery with this too. I'd say I gotta make up a new rain gutter. As you can see, that's in pretty bad shape, but it's nothing that can't be fixed. And when I get my gaps all right and everything, this door will be coming back off, and I'll finish up the welding then. Cut the bottom off the door where she's bad, because I don't even need the bottom of the door there. And start adapting the inside of the Toyota 4Runner doors to these doors. This should be interesting. But before I adapt the doors, newer to older, I'm going to try to get this door on too. I think that'll be the next thing. This doorway here is not near as bad a shape as the driver's side was. So it's not going to put up as much of a fight, I don't say. And over there you can see I started welding the inner structure back in. She was rotted out on the bottom, but luckily the other cab that I picked up for parts has got enough good section for me to finish that off down there. And yeah, hopefully I can rig up something for along here too. Because that's something I never even thought about doing yet, but I know it's got to be done. Because right around that seam, she is gone, as you can see. But that's it. We'll get there. I think that's enough for today. Time to take a break.